The content of this video is intended for service technicians. The procedures and processes depicted are to be performed only by trained technicians. All procedures and processes were filmed in a controlled environment. Some safety equipment and/or safety guards or barriers have been removed or foregone for visual clarity. Always read and apply the general and specific safety rules and safety messages presented in the appropriate service manual and operator's manual. Always wear appropriate personal protection equipment.
Hey, it's Russ from the tech training team, and we're going to show you how to configure and operate a 3162, just the basic operations of a 3162 when configured with a transport kit and in-cab cutter bar adjust. So we've plugged in our Draper head, and I've got this symbol flashing here, which is the alarm for header needs to be defined. So really what they want us to do is to go back and go into the toolbox, and then across the bottom we're going to go into the head 1 screen, and we're going to configure this head. So it picked up on the header type sensor that it's a Draper, but the header subtype is not correct. So if we leave it like this, the shift functions won't work. So that means that knife tilt and transport and in-cab cutter bar, none of those will work. So what I need to do is I need to set it for a 3000 series head, because we've got a 3162 that has all of the features on it. So we grab 3000 series header subtype. It is a flex header, and we're in the flex mode. This happens to be a 35-foot head, so we'll just go ahead and enter 35 feet, and we'll probably cut at 34 feet or something like that. The rest of this is just for the acre counter, so we'll leave that go. That sets us up for this part of it. Now if we go to the head 2 screen, there's quite a few other things over here. So header sensors, we want them enabled because this head is in the flex mode. So we will turn them on. The pressure float we want set to no, because when we're cutting soybeans or crops that are close to the ground and we're going to use automatic header height control, we're not going to use a float mode. This tilt response, normal, so there's a normal and a fast mode. So if we want better or quicker response, maybe is a better way to say it, better not necessarily, but quicker response, we would go to the fast mode, but we're going to leave it on normal for now. Now this pressure float override is one that can get us, because this allows the header to jump in and out of float mode when it's on the ground. And we don't want it to jump in and out, we want it to stay in auto header. So we're going to run this on up into about the 40% range so that it won't jump into float override on us, so we'll leave that down. Auto header lift, if we back up, we want the head to pick up so we don't fill the backside of the cutter bar with soil, so we'll leave that to yes. The raise rate is set at 120, that's good. It's about the middle of the range, lower rate at 120. The sensitivities, again, are in the middle of the range. We're going to leave the real speed minimum and the real speed slope where they're set right now. The reel drive type is hydraulic, that's good. We do have reel fore and aft on this machine. We do not have reel height or horizontal sensors, so we want to shut them off. So no sensors, either for height or horizontal. No vertical knives in this machine. We do want lateral tilt to be active, and auto tilt is okay to leave as yes. So if we're operating off the ground, this head will tilt for us. And then auto level and headland mode, we want that to say yes as well, because what will happen is when we come out on the end of row and we hit shift resume, then this head will level back out, and when we go back down, then it will follow the ground contours. Okay, so we've checked everything out on the head 1 and the head 2 screen. That's what we need to do, and now we need to cycle the key in order to save the changes. So I'm going to turn the key off. Okay, so we cycled the key, and we're back to run 1 screen, and you can see that our alarm is now gone because we've configured this header. So because this has transport on it, we need to raise the wheels. So to do that, we're going to raise the feeder house all the way to the top of travel. Make sure that we're completely up. Then we're going to use the shift and the reel raise and lower. And by using the shift, reel, raise, and lower, we're going to be able to raise the transport package into the field mode. Okay, so that gets our transport kit all the way up. Now, the shift and reel fore and aft is going to do our knife tilt. So shift and reel fore and aft will do the knife tilt. So for our purposes, we're going to put it about at the middle of the tilt, okay? And then if I lower the header down a little bit, I'm going to raise the reel up, just get it out of the way. Then the shift, reel, raise, and lower is going to adjust the cutter bar. And what I mean by that is it's going to make the cutter bar heavier, or it's going to make the cutter bar lighter. And if I use shift and reel lower, it'll make the cutter bar heavier. And if I use shift and reel raise, it'll make the cutter bar lighter. And it's kind of hard to tell with it up off the ground, and you see the cutter bar coming up now. But that's how you're going to adjust your cutter bar ground pressure. And we're just going to put it back to some midpoint. And that's the basics of using the 3162. That's the configuration. That's how you use the transport kit. And that's how you use the in-cab cutter bar. And that's also how you do the knife tilt.